What's up, guys? So this is going to be a real brief guide, probably about 8-10 minutes long, just explaining kind of the hunter setup, the new hunter survivability stuff, survival stuff, whatever this new spec is called, survival. So I'm not going to touch on all the abilities, but I am going to mention a couple quick things. Your harpoon does root for 3 seconds. That's kind of just an important utility to understand. Your flanking strike has twice your mastery's percentage to give you an additional stack of mongoose bite, which if you see here, the mastery, my pet's autos have a 4.8% chance to give me 1 additional stack of mongoose bite. So when I flanking strike, it's basically a 9.5% chance for that to occur. Mongoose bite can only stack the buff up to 6 times, which is 300% increased damage. And I think that's kind of it for the basic abilities. One thing also too that's worth noting is that Aspect of the Turtle is an amazing, cool new ability. But you can cast all of your traps and grenades while Aspect of the Turtle is up. So what that means is I can charge in, pop a lacerate Aspect of the Turtle. I can still throw my grenade, I can throw my explosive trap, I can throw caltrops, and if I want to freezing trap someone over there, I can do all that while I'm invulnerable. A lot of people are not really talking about that, or I haven't heard that mentioned very much, but that's a huge thing to know and understand, is that you can kind of bait out a lot of people kind of getting in a weird position because they think they can kill you and not realizing how much damage you can do while you're invulnerable. You have no damage reduction while that's going on, while you have turtle up, nothing like that. It just makes you invulnerable and you can cast only those abilities. You can't do throwing axes, you can't cast lacerate, flanking strike, or mongoose, and you cannot cast your ranger's net or your wing clip while Aspect of Turtle is up, but you can also feign death. You don't really want to do that, but you can. I would think feign death is almost always better to use after, if you're going to use it right away or during that time period Anyway, that being said, throwing axes, 100%. This is the talent you should be going for in this tier right now for PvP. This might be different for PvE. Way of Mok'Nathal might be viable, but I don't think so as of right now. Murder of Crows is also potentially viable here. It's more of a playstyle preference. This is kind of one additional big dot you get, where this gives you some more mongoose bites to kind of stack your burst a little bit better. I've used both a lot, and I prefer Snake Hunter. Just gives you kind of more like a bursty playstyle, or the ability to have a bursty playstyle, which I feel like this kit in general kind of lacks. There's a lot of sustained, consistent damage, but it just helps you a lot with your burst, which is one of the weaker parts of this class overall, I think. Post Haste and Farstrider are both good here. Just preference. This is more RNG. This is constant. Caltrops and Improved Traps are both viable. Caltrops I like more just because when I use Improved Traps and I do my Explosive Trap as my opener, it kind of gets in the way as far as a global cooldown once I'm trying to burst. Besides for that, it's very viable, I think. I think for PvE, it's probably a really, really solid choice, or Steel Trap even for PvE. But for PvP, I'm really thinking Caltrops right now. It seems to be the most effective. Also gives you a ton of AoE damage and utility in battlegrounds when you're fighting for flags and nodes. Ranger's Net, for sure. This is what I'm going every single time, with the exception of maybe Camouflage in some arenas, but I go Ranger's Net all the rest of the time. Dragon's Fire Grenade is your strongest single target spell, basically, that you have at all. Serpent Sting, a lot of people have been going Serpent Sting, and I don't think it's good. I'm not totally sure why people are doing it. This has literally 4 times the damage, and granted it's on a 30-second cooldown, but you have a lot of things that you can do to fill that 30 seconds that are still making you do a lot of damage and provide a lot of utility. Expert Trapper, no questions. That's what you should be taking every time. Even if you took all different talents up here, you should be taking Expert Trapper. So the basic rotation is you're going to pop your Explosive Trap and Grenade almost simultaneously. You're going to Caltrops and or Lacerate right after that, kind of depending on the situation. But you do want to get both of those on the target. And then you're going to Mongoose Bite, ideally twice, once or twice, ideally twice, Flanking Strike, and then finish off whatever stacks you have a Mongoose Bite. Pop Snake Hunter, you're going to Mongoose Bite another couple times, Flanking Strike, and then finish it off, and that's basically your full rotation. You can throw some throwing axes in there at the end to finish people off. That's usually the rotation. And you'll see when I get to that point that Raptor Strike that would be the only time I really have time to do it, And if I do, it's going to basically focus starve me, so I can't really use flanking strike. Since flanking strike has a basically 10% chance to give me an additional stack of mongoose bite, this, and it also does like 3 times the damage of raptor strike, this is way more important to be getting off than raptor strike. So I don't want to get myself in a situation where I'm trying to like pinch a little bit of damage and use 25 focus where it's holding me back 25 focus away from getting a flanking strike off that's more damage and is giving me a lot more benefits overall in the kit that survival has right now. So I'm going to show you just kind of like a basic engage here. You're going to go in explosive trap, grenade. I'm going to caltrops, lacerate, 2 stacks of mongoose bite. I'm going to hit a flanking strike. I didn't get any extra stacks, so I'm going to mongoose bite and then pop my snake hunter. And then I'm just going to hit those mongoose bites, flanking strike. I didn't get anything else, so I'm going to lacerate, drop another caltrops, and run out. Okay, so right here is when you would throwing axe. I would ideally be hitting my flanking strike again, and I could be filling with my raptor strike because I have basically like a 5-6 second window that I'm waiting for these all to come back up. But it's not really that helpful at all. Like, it's not like you're not doing really any damage, and you're basically just prolonging the ability to use flanking strike. Not to mention lacerate, or if you need it, ranger's net, because all 3 of those cost focus. So that's my argument for this being literally like a useless spell right now. I don't ever use raptor strike. That being said, my last point that I really want to mention is that most of your abilities, with the exception of flanking strike and mongoose bite, do damage without you standing there, and you can be really far away to do them, right? I have to be in range just to cast lacerate and to cast explosive trap, but the majority of the damage can occur regardless of where I am in comparison to the target. So, for example, if I'm really low health, let's say I'm 20%, I can run in, hit 1 lacerate, drop my explosive trap, and then while I'm running out, I can grenade, I can caltrops, I think that went in the trees, and then I can throw my throwing axes, right? I don't have to sit in there and force mongoose bites and force flanking strikes to try and do a little more damage if I'm getting myself in a bad situation. And kind of on that note, I can also do that same combo, run in lacerate, and then do aspect of the turtle, cast my explosive trap, my grenade, my caltrops, and then right around the time that turtle runs out, I can throw my throwing axes and be safe that entire time. Granted, that's a 3-minute window that you can do that, but that's still a really substantial amount of DPS that is really safe. You're like very, very safe, and you don't get any damage debuff as far as the damage output you do for having aspect of the turtle up. I think that's really it, guys. Just wanted to point out that the playstyle is super unique, and survival hunter is super viable right now. Very few classes are able to out DPS me or out duel me as it is right now. But we'll see when the expansion comes out. Let me know if you guys have questions. I will post some more PvP guides, kind of playstyle, gameplay stuff. I haven't seen too much survival hunter content that's decent, in my opinion. So I'm going to probably post up a couple more videos just to kind of show you guys kind of the playstyle I've been messing with. But hopefully this helped, and good luck in Legion.